All right, so today we're going to talk a little bit more about rice. So here is arborio rice, and this is what we're going to use to make risotto. So risotto we can make a lot of different ways. I'm going to show you the way I used to make it in a restaurant. There's Gritty. Here you go, Brie. You can hold on to Gritty. So we're going to use our arborio rice. I'm just using vegetables I had lying around. So we had extra mushrooms, some shallots, some extra tomatoes, oregano. Here we have some cream, white wine, and then to round off our meal, to add a little bit of protein, some chicken just seasoned with salt, pepper, and had some herb mixture lying around, so we threw it on there. In the back, you'll see there's a pot of chicken stock. I got my ladle in there. The chicken stock is already hot because we're going to want hot stock to add to our risotto when we start cooking. Down here in my pot, I have some blended oil that we're going to use. We're going to sear our chicken off first in the pan, and then we'll cook our risotto after that. So I'll go ahead and I'll start searing off my chicken. All right, we're going to give this a try. So my kids were talking so much, I had to figure out how to do a voiceover video. Plus I'm going to speed it up to double speed because risotto does take some time. So I want to try to cut some stuff out and do a voiceover video to try to get this to go a little faster. So all I'm doing now is just searing my chicken in a pan. And you can see I changed the camera angle there. Don't know if you can tell, but right above my stovetop is the microwave. So in order to record it, I shoved a bunch of books in my microwave and then wedged my phone in there to keep it from falling into my pot of chicken. So all I'm doing now, just getting my chicken seared off, getting it ready to go. So I want to use those brown bits in the bottom of the pan to help flavor my risotto a little bit. So just going to get them brown each side. Moving on with my day, fixing my camera angle, whatnot. Nothing really too exciting going on here. So the chicken seared off, I'm putting it in a foil pan. It's getting ready to go into the oven. Now we're going to move on to the next step of the risotto. So I'm going to flavor my risotto with the mushrooms and shallots used later. But for the rice, first step is adding my shallots and garlic in the pan, then I'm adding the rice. If you notice, what makes this the risotto method is I'm just lightly toasting my risotto, or toasting my rice in the pan with a little bit of fat. I'm going to do that. If you look at the rice grains, they're white, and then I'm going to cook them until they start to get a little translucent on the sides. If you notice the fond in the bottom of the pan, all those little brown bits, they're going to help to flavor my risotto too. So now what comes into play is just stirring to making sure the risotto is cooking evenly. The granules are starting to turn translucent on the sides, so I added some white wine to deglaze, and it's going to help to pick up the fond on the bottom. So when we're making the risotto, we're going to add our liquid in stages at a time instead of all at once with the way we cook normal rice. Risotto, on the arborio rice that we use, takes on a little bit more liquid than your standard white rice. White rice, we usually use a 2-to-1 ratio of liquid to rice. For risotto, it's usually a 4 or 5-to-1 ratio, depending on what kind of rice you're using and what brand. So right now, I'm adding ladles of chicken stock at a time to my pan to get it to go in. And then I'm going to wait until the rice absorbs the liquid, and then I'm going to go in and go back and add a little bit more of my chicken stock. And I'm going to keep doing this until all my chicken stock has been incorporated into the rice. So this is just time-lapsed over time. All in all, adding the stock to the rice is going to take about 20 minutes or so. So just keep adding your ladlefuls of stock at a time. And you don't necessarily need to stir the entire time. I know some people will tell you never to stop stirring, but I don't really find it necessary. We just add some a little bit at a time, making sure it's not burning to the bottom of the pan. We should be okay. So the rice is still going. I want to start working on my veg on the side. Whenever I'm making risotto, if I need to cook something, I usually cook it on the side, and then I fold it into my rice later, because I really want the rice just to worry about itself and not having to cook the veg. So in my saute pan, I added some oil, butter. Now I'm adding my shallots and mushrooms. I want to start to get some color on them. Now I'm just seasoning it with salt and pepper. I want to cook those down until I get some nice caramelization, and that's going to be the main flavor of my risotto. So here I'm starting to add the last bit of my stock to the pan. It's absorbing it a little bit at a time, Just time-lapsing it to save you all time as we go. Now, I'm going to add the last bit of my stock right here, all in the pot now. So now I'm just going to stir it up again, wait for it to get absorbed, and then we'll go back and finish this up. Back to my mushrooms, onions. I'm now adding my garlic to get a little bit of extra flavor in there. Garlic has a pretty short cooking time, so I add it after my mushrooms and shallots. Throw in some tomatoes I had lying around. I'm going to start to cook all that down. You can't see off camera, I start to add a little bit of spinach too, but I'm going to do that later. There's my salt and pepper. All right, now I'm adding the last step of my risotto, just a little bit of cream, and I'm also going to add some Parmesan cheese. I folded my vegetables in, and I am good to go. We have a finished, complete dish, complete with the Chef Davis thumbs up. Now go ahead, try your own, and let's see what you can do.